Super Mario, one of, if not the most iconic of video game mascots. Mario games are fun, colorful adventures where a lowly plumber usually has to rescue the princess from the evil Bowser. His adventures have seen him save his own Mushroom Kingdom as well as visiting faraway lands such as Sarasaland and the Isle Delfino, and even traveling through space, all seemingly to rescue princesses and to stop some form of evil villain. But what if none of that were true? What if Mario wasn't as innocent as we've been led to believe all these years? What if Mario was the real villain of the Mushroom Kingdom? The evidence is everywhere. It's been right in front of our eyes the entire time. Disguised as cute, charming, addictive gameplay, Mario's callous disregard for people is painfully evident. Not just the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom, but even his friends and family. He doesn't care who he hurts as long as it benefits him first and foremost. Taking a look back at Mario's first appearance in Donkey Kong, we're led to believe that he's a hero, right? He's rescuing his girlfriend Pauline from DK, sure. But why did DK decide to kidnap her to begin with? In the follow-up game, Donkey Kong Jr., we take control of the Junior Kong to rescue Old Kong from Mario. But if we look close enough, we notice that Mario's holding a whip and is very clearly keeping DK in a cage. So it seems to me that this is the first time we see Mario's true cruel nature towards animals. Perhaps that's why old DK wanted revenge in the first game. It's also important to remember that the Donkey Kong from the original game is actually Cranky Kong, and Junior is actually what we know to be DK now. This is important to remember for one reason. The events of the first game and Mario's cruelty has affected Cranky Kong so much that he remains traumatized by it. So much so that even in his elderly years, he remembers. This is only the beginning of Mario's abusive nature, though. As we continue to observe him throughout his adventures, we see that even his lifelong animal companions, the Yoshi, are not safe from his behavior. In Super Mario World, it would seem that Mario and Yoshi are just a couple of good friends on another journey to save the princess. But if we look closely enough, when Yoshi sticks his tongue out to eat anything, we see what's really happening is that Mario is punching Yoshi to force him to eat things against his will. Considering their history together, you would think Mario would show more courtesy to the species of creature that rescued him as a baby and carried him along a dangerous journey to reunite him with his brother Luigi. Mario's behavior isn't exclusive to the animals in his life, but also extends to the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. As recently as his latest adventure, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario is seen using highly sophisticated cap technology to capture, or essentially possess, innocent citizens of kingdoms all throughout his planet without their consent. These creatures can be harmed or even killed under his possession, but for Mario, as long as it furthers his own agenda, it is, of course, no concern of his. But looking as far back as 1985, we learn in the instruction manual for Super Mario Bros. As Bowser takes over the kingdom, he transforms the people of the Mushroom Kingdom into the blocks that occupy the airspace in each level. As Mario powers up to his Super or Fire upgrade, he gains the ability to destroy certain blocks with a single punch. So each time this occurs, he's actually killing innocent lives. The lives he is supposed to be saving by defeating Bowser. In Mario Land 2, for the Game Boy, it's understandable that he wants to kick a squatter out of his house upon his return from rescuing Princess Daisy. But what if there was another way to approach the situation aside from violently kicking him out? As Mario makes his way up to the master bedroom, he had plenty of time to think of a peaceful way of dealing with it. Hold on, wait a minute. What's this right here? This doesn't even look like one of Wario's traps. Wario likes to wear his gloves with the W facing upward. This is clearly one of Mario's traps. But now that I think of it, a lot of these traps seem to be built directly into the floor. Like this is some kind of elaborate security system from Mario. But if he's supposed to be the good guy, why is he trying so hard to keep people out? What is he trying to keep his friends away from? Mario also apparently likes to hold on to a grudge, as we see in Mario Land 3 or Wario Land. After Wario goes on his own treasure hunting adventure, Mario steals the credit after Wario does all the work. Allow me to explain. Wario is out hunting for treasure so he can purchase his own home, legally. He even defeats an evil pirate princess to retrieve her stolen treasure. But it seems that one of the pieces that she stole was a large Peach statue. Instead of allowing Wario to return the valuable piece to potentially receive a reward, Mario decides to fly in and take all the glory for himself. If he were truly the hero of the Mushroom Kingdom, he wouldn't need to be fixated on such adoration. His cruelty doesn't stop at that though. Even his friends aren't safe. Look, in any ordinary friendship, it's common for friends to go to each other's home or even go out to find some recreational activities to do. But with Mario, neither of these are safe, because you'll probably end up fighting against each other for his own sick and twisted amusement. But going out with Mario is going to be just as dangerous, because something as simple as playing soccer or go-karting can't even happen without dangerous weapons or the venue being in some ridiculous location. Playing soccer games in a giant lava pit surrounded by falling balls of fire is just one example, and attacking each other with weapons while racing on a large rainbow track in space is just another. Even visiting him in his home isn't safe, as he might make you play some outrageous board games where his friends are required to steal from each other, as well as compete against each other in some rather dangerous minigames. On some rare occasions, friends are even made to fight against each other or even against the Mario Brothers themselves for their own sick and twisted pleasure. Mario may even power himself up with a metal cap for the fight to give himself more of an advantage. In all these examples, Mario even invites his former villains and rivals to clash with his own friends. What kind of enjoyment could such a man gain from having his friends face known dangerous villains? An argument can even be made about him being a horrible brother, with his constant need to be in the spotlight and leaving Luigi in his shadow. Mario goes on vacation, takes a Toad with him, and leaves his little brother behind. Where even was Luigi during Mario Odyssey? Mario goes all over the world and even asks his ex for help. Meanwhile, Luigi needs to find a way to occupy himself with balloons. It seems like he has to find ways to either keep himself entertained or force his way into one of his brother's adventures just to be included. When Luigi gets a supporting role in one of Mario's games, he tends to have little to no difference between his brother in terms of gameplay. And when he does get his own game, it's usually in search for Mario. Mario's missing, doesn't even have Luigi in the title, though you control him as a primary character. In Luigi's Mansion, Mario is supposed to meet with Luigi at his new mansion, but gets kidnapped by King Boo.
Mario!
Probably because he got there early in some attempt to steal the glory from his little brother. Now maybe all of this doesn't necessarily make Mario a bad brother, but his constant neglect of Luigi could lead to some trauma or depression. Maybe even worse. In nearly every game, Mario is portrayed as a hero, rescuing princesses from some form of evil. But has anyone ever taken a moment to ask why? What is he trying to gain from rescuing each princess? In his first appearance, he's trying to rescue his girlfriend Pauline. But after this incident, we don't hear from her for a very long time. Perhaps the trauma of being kidnapped by an ape and immediately facing a breakup required a lot of time to recover, as we don't see her again until Super Mario Odyssey. But following these events, Princess Peach is seemingly Mario's primary love interest. Could it be that Mario broke up with the average girl next door, Pauline, in order to now court a rich princess without guilt? Perhaps, but it seems that Mario may not have been so generous in later occasions. On one such occasion, we see Mario traveling to Sarasaland to rescue Princess Daisy from alien invader Tatanga. But what was Mario doing in Sarasaland? Was he sent there to rescue the damsel in distress, or quite possibly, was he already there when the princess was kidnapped? The end cutscene where Daisy is rescued seems to imply there was a bit of a romantic connection there. So was Mario cheating on Peach with Daisy when Tatanga showed up and kidnapped her? In Super Mario Galaxy, Princess Peach is kidnapped yet again. This time, she's carried away in space, and Mario spends a lot of time with Princess Rosalina on her Comet Observatory. Now, it can be speculated that nothing romantic happens between them, but in the sequel game, Rosalina is presumably hiding in the shadows and offering help to Mario if he fails too frequently. So it seems to me that they did manage to spend enough time together on her observatory to get fairly close to each other. Close enough to remain in contact and for Mario to continue inviting her to his events with his friends. Admittedly, this could simply be only conjecture, but the evidence of Mario and his womanizing ways continues to this day. With his latest adventure to rescue Peach, Mario travels across the planet to stop Bowser. Along the way, he makes a stop in Metro Kingdom to visit his ex-girlfriend Pauline, who has clearly moved on with her life and become the mayor, yet keeps the events of her kidnapping fresh on her mind. So upon the kidnapping of his current girlfriend, Mario decides it's a good idea to visit his ex and drags her into his own problems while she herself hasn't quite gotten over her own traumatic events. Not a very heroic thing to do to someone he hurt in his past, I think. Meanwhile, Mario's constantly sticking around with Peach, possibly to continue mooching off of her money, as she is the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe she knows about his misdoings or womanizing, or maybe she doesn't. In either case, Mario makes sure to keep her close by to continue living off of her wealth. He has no formal career himself, so it's possible that he uses her money to finance his career fantasies, as he can't seem to hold down an actual job. He was originally employed as a carpenter during the events of Donkey Kong, after which he seems to have found a career opportunity as a plumber, but even this didn't seem to work out for him, as he tried to live out other job fantasies, ranging from professional boxing referee being a doctor without any indication of medical experience, to being forced to become a janitor at one point. But all of this leads up to the times he could have potentially wasted the money of his rich girlfriend, his attempts at being a professional athlete. Such sporting endeavors such as soccer, basketball, tennis, golf, or auto racing must be expensive to finance, and without a solid paycheck, he would have to have found funding elsewhere. With all of Mario's appearances throughout the past several decades, it's important that we look not only at where he is and what he's doing now, but also his misdeeds of the past. It is true that he has accomplished a lot in his lifespan, but we should never forget the people he stepped on to climb up to where he is now. Is Mario the hero he would like us all to believe, or is he a much more sinister and sadistic man, disguising his sick pleasures as heroic deeds? I believe now is the time to speak up. It is time to hold him accountable for his actions. Just because he's dating the current ruler of the kingdom should not place him above the law. No one should be above the law. Spread the word, share the knowledge. This man should be stopped.